everyone, and welcome to the Geri Show. Today with me, we have the amazing Preggie Govender from South Africa. He is the ex-CEO of a group of 5 companies, semi-retired, certified, $1 million round table lifetime qualifier, International Quality Award qualifier, Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award nominee, professional network marketer. He is a trainer, a public speaker, and a mentor. Also served as a board member on numerous non-profit organizations. Welcome to the show, Preggie.
Thank you, Geraldine, for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure having you here with us. Preggie, can you please give us a brief background of yourself?
Okay, so I'm born in Durban, South Africa. I'm the 4th generation born here. My business, I think, experience goes back as far as 11 years old, if I recall. I was very entrepreneurial, had the mindset of an entrepreneur. So at the age of 11, I had 2 bicycles. One I used to rent out to friends. So that used to, at the same time while I had my own. And then, like any typical, your parents want you to get good grades, find yourself a good qualification, and then in most cases that because most people retire and they retire on 40% of their final salary, and I didn't want to be one of those statistics. So I went into from university. I had a job as an auditor for about 6 to 8 months, and I realized that being in that job, there was no ways that I would be able to have the lifestyle of my boss. The kind of cars that he was driving, the kind of homes he was living in, the holidays he was taking, just generally the lifestyle that he had. And I just wanted more. I realized I was destined for more, and I was able to achieve that if I'm able to put in the work. So I decided to quit that and go into business. At that time, I was dating my ex-wife, and so she qualified as a designer. So I had a full-time job, 8 to 4:30. And then what I used to do is, after I got from home, had a shower, I used to get to her family's home. I used to have dinner with them, and then I used to put about 4 to 5 layers of material on the floor, put a pattern on it, mark it with a chalk, cut it, and then take that clothes material to a lady who used to do CMT, and pick up whatever other garments. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, I used to get up and get to a place called Derby Street in Durban, and I used to open my booth, and I used to sell sausages and polony and coffee and tea, milk and bread to hawkers that used to come from the neighboring countries. And so I just wanted to be successful. So those were literally 3 things that I was wanting to do just to be able to be successful. But then eventually I realized, like I said, working for a boss was not going to get me to where I wanted. It was not the right financial vehicle. So I decided to take a chance and go into business. And, business is challenging. It's like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. When you go into business, you're no longer in an 8 to 9 job, 8 to 9 hour job. You're literally into a 15 to 18 hour job. You're the last one that's getting paid. You're the last one that leaves the business premises. So it was challenging, but I was prepared to, do it. And then a couple of years down the line, the economy took a bit of a knock. The clothing industry took a knock. And I realized I was already like about 500,000 Rand in debt. And I needed to get out of this situation because my daughter was being born. And I needed to now, provide for this kid. So I got involved in the insurance industry. But first, a very good friend of mine saw the potential that I had, and I just realized, I can't sell anything. So he convinced me, and I joined the legal team in the company. And 3 months later, I realized, hey, I was making more money for these brokers and consultants. Let me take the leap of faith and jump into the sales environment. And within a short period of 5 months, I literally broke every single record the company had. I made national sales, I made regional sales. Within a short period of a year, I made top 25, top 50 in the country. And and I just never looked back. And then from there, eventually diversified 8 years later into other industries. And in 2009, a friend of mine was asking me to give him business advice on a company that was launching in South Africa. And I went along, saw the opportunity, wasn't too keen because it was on the direct selling side. And the reason being is because when I didn't learn about direct sales. I learned about sole proprietors, PDY limited companies, public companies, incorporation. So for me, direct sales was like for people who couldn't find a job, people who didn't have qualifications. And then I was reading a book by Warren Buffett, one of the most successful entrepreneurs. He was the third richest man in the world at that particular time. And one of the three things that stood out in there was, number one was that he owned 3 direct sales companies. And I wanted to know, why would a successful guy like him get involved in the direct sales? So that's what I paid a little bit of attention. And the second thing is that, he talks about trends. He talks about the next, if you look at the 80s, it was .coms, 90s, it was telecommunication. 2000, he said the property was the next trend. And then 2009, he said that travel was the next 15 to 20 year trend. And when I saw this presentation, I saw direct sales, I saw travel, and I said travel does $8.3 trillion per annum. Second is oil, third is food, and fourth is health. If you combine the second and third and fourth industry, it doesn't surpass the travel industry. So that flipped a switch for me, and I realized if this company gets it right, there's some serious money, to be made. And, it's about being at the right place at the right time. I took that opportunity. I said to my friend, jump on board. Before you sign anybody up, sign me up first. And looking back 12 years later, it's been the most incredible journey.
I've always told you this many, many times. I admire you for your humility and your great ambition and motivating and inspiring everybody. Your diligence and unwavering purpose, encouraging and guiding people has been one of your best positive traits. So, Preggie, tell us more about your skincare products, the secret to looking great.
So, the company that we just recently did a strategic alliance with, and how that came about was about just over a year before the COVID. My current company at the time was adding an additional range to their ecosystem, which was Dream Body. And Dream Body was a nutritional range, a skincare range, and not realizing that the company that was manufacturing this product for our company was a company called Secret. And a year later, going into COVID, obviously the travel industry took a major knock, and it was just perfect timing. Both the owners realized that there was synergy between both the companies, and there was definitely an alliance, and that's how that was born. So just a little bit about Secret. The company is 20 years old. Its main range of products are skincare and nutrition. The skincare comes from the Dead Sea, so it's organic, it's natural. The products are manufactured by L'Oreal, so one of the best manufacturers in the world. So we have a non-compete arrangement with them and an agreement with them that they cannot manufacture for anyone or themselves anything in our range. And then, the product just speaks for itself. Once somebody uses it, they realize the benefits of it. It is just not for everyone because, if you look at it in terms of, it is for everybody, but when I talk about not for everybody, there is an elite market purely because of the costing of the product. But if you had to compare it with what's out there in the world, it's a fraction of the cost of the best products out there. But it's non-damaging, like I said, it's organic, it's, free of all chemicals. So the product is just phenomenal, world-class.
I've seen your products, from your mud masks to your face washes, including the nutrition line. It's absolutely amazing. Since it's all gluten-free and organic and sugar-free and vegan, and enhancing your beauty. So while enhancing your beauty naturally, good skincare is essential at any age. For the reason that many factors can affect the skin, and the skin is the largest organ. Including the first line of health defense, which deserves to be protected.
Yeah, definitely.
How has your journey been leading up to your successes in the direct sales industry?
Well, like anything in life, what you put in is what you get out. When people look at our success as a family, they don't realize the price that we paid for that success. In the initial years, and especially when you look at direct sales, people have a negative connotation to direct sales. And like any other industry, you have good doctors and you have bad doctors, you have good lecturers, you have bad lecturers, you have good business people, bad business people. Companies generally don't get a bad name purely because of the products that they have, but it's because of reps that are in the companies that give companies a bad name. So, when I with this company initially, like I said, people did knock it, but I realized one thing, that what the company stood for. I knew the value that they brought to the table. I knew that lives that they were going to impact. So it's information that I had that made me realize that it ticked most of the boxes. So if people just maybe not be naive to the industry, but pay more attention to the industry, do a little bit more proper research of understanding, rather be informative and don't prejudge the industry. And I was very open-minded. I just wanted to learn about this industry because I realized the business model of network marketing can take an average person from the street, give them an opportunity with a small amount of investment and make them some serious money. And if you look at conventional business right now, two things. Number one, it costs a hell of a lot of money to buy a franchise today. You could spend anything from 2 million to 20 million. And then also conventional business, anybody can get rich in conventional business if they're paying the right people. In direct sales, I can't pick up the phone and say to the owner, there's $1 million under the table, make me the number one income earner. What I put in is what I get out. So what I like about the direct sale is that they teach you the skills. They have amazing training systems. So even if somebody doesn't like the idea of direct sales, just get involved with a company that has an amazing training system and see what happens 3 to 5 years in your journey, your family's journey. You'll see the impact that it has, how it will take your conventional business or your profession to another level. So, initially I paid the price, but once I started to get the momentum, once I started to build my teams, because, everybody knows people, you can't build this business alone. It's a team effort. And, they say the acronym for team is together, everyone achieves more. So if I help you to succeed in the business indirectly, I succeed. And anyone between me and you also get to succeed. So that's what I loved about it. And 12 years later, being in the industry, I've grown an organization from just 211 personals to over 102,000 members in 49 countries. So I have a global business. My business never sleeps. It's open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Every time I go to bed, somebody in Australia is getting up and sharing the information. My bank account goes cha-ching. Somebody in the USA gets up, somebody in Canada gets up. It's the same thing. So that's the beauty of this industry. If you really want to create legacy income, you want to create generational wealth, this is the business model you need to look at. Because most people are sitting right now in the wrong business model. They don't have the right vehicle. Just think about this, Geraldine. If you want to go to Mauritius right now, you can't jump on a bicycle. You can't jump in your car. You need a plane. You need a ship. You can't get on a train. So most people, if you really look at it, financially, they're in the wrong vehicle. It will never get them to their destination, to their dream.
Absolutely amazing. It's so incredible what you have accomplished thus far. And you have to have a strategy that works best for you, and you've got to, develop mental toughness and to carry on and continue trying, even in the face of obstacles. You have done all of the above, so well done to you. So how has personal development influenced your life?
Well, if I look at when I got involved in the financial services industry, coming from a sales environment, personal development, attending all these sales talks, sales seminars was absolutely big because, it's about creating the right mindset. If you qualified for these conventions and you went on these conventions, part of the convention over those 3 to 5 days would be, a guest speaker motivating you, inspiring you. Because right now, if you think about it, the world is so negative. You put the TV on, there's so much of negativity happening around us. You switch on the radio, there's so much of negativity around us. You talk to people, you hang around the coffee machine, everybody's talking negativity. So, one way to work around getting the mindset right is definitely personal development. And when I talk about personal development, most people don't understand the definition of personal development. They think personal development is going into a gym, working out and having a nice fit body. That's not what personal development is. Personal development is about creating the right mindset. It's about emptying your purse, mind, that is the books that you spend on, the DVDs that you purchase, the videos and audios and whatever it is that you purchase, and the knowledge that you gain, you're able to use that knowledge. They say knowledge is not powerful until it is put into practice. Because I can give you a book, give somebody the same amazing book, and they read it but don't put it into practice, and yet you do it, it works for you. So I would say personal development is absolutely crucial, and I'll share something which worked very well for my family. So my son, at the age of 6, was exposed to personal development, and my daughter as well at the age of 8, because every time they jumped into my car, the radio was not on listening to one of the radio channels or a music CD. What I was listening to was personal development. And somehow this was starting to impact on my son, who was only 6 years old. And I started to see how it impacted on his chess games. I saw it impacting on his cricket matches, how it took him up to a leadership point. And, I've enrolled my kids into programs like Making of a Champion, where they teach you how to create a vision board, set your goals, all those kind of things, because you need direction like anything in life. And personal development is the perfect tool for that. So I think, people need to start spending money. If they don't have money, you can go onto YouTube today. You can punch in personal development and pick up a whole lot of videos and audios that you can listen to or watch and empower yourself. So absolutely critical. Even first thing in the morning, if you could just listen to one of those audios or watch a short, video on YouTube that is empowering, it just starts your day on a totally different level.
You are right in all that you said. Personal development in itself will change the way we live our lives. We always want to strive to be better, and it's fundamental, to have a personal vision of the future. As they say, in order to be yourself, we have to know ourselves.
Right.
How did you manage to build this business as a family with your son, daughter, and a son-in-law?
So if I look at my previous company, and the owner had a vision where he wanted to see families work together, travel together, and have fun together. So because if you really look at it in conventional business, families are so divided because mom and dad have to go to work, kids got to go to school, kids got to go to campus. They're literally crossing each other at home. They don't get to spend quality time. And this business model has allowed us. So my son at the age of 18, while he was in grade 12, I must admit, it piqued his interest, piqued his excitement when he saw a promotion for a BMW in our car company. And, he just so happened one evening, walked in with his friends, and that slide was playing on my TV in the lounge, and I had a few guests over. So he walked to his room with his friends. They were studying. After the presentation, they came back and they wanted to know, how can we qualify for this car? So being 18 years old, silver BMW, which kid doesn't want a fancy car? So I gave him the rules, and 40 days later qualified for the promotion. I didn't allow him to take delivery of the vehicle. I said, concentrate on your studies. On the last day of his paper that he wrote in his final year of schooling, he got his license that morning. Took him into the BMW dealership, picked up his new car, drove into school, wrote his his last paper, and then drove out of school with his new car. And at that time, in 2012, as an 18-year-old, he was already earning in excess of 30,000 Rand a month through this company. And then he said to me, Dad, what's the chance of giving me 3 gap years? And I said, son, why would you want 3 gap years? Take 1 gap year, travel the world. He said, Dad, if this doesn't make sense, I'll go to campus. And he says, so I said, okay, tell me, why should you take 3 gap years? And he said, Dad, my friends at the age of 18, 19, 20, and 21 are in nightclubs on the weekend, they're partying and boozing. Life hasn't even started. What are they celebrating? So they're going to get to 30 and worry about their cars, homes, and finances. Can I be done by the age of 21? At the age of 19, he was a millionaire. At the age of 21, he was a dollar millionaire. At the age of 23, he was already making an 8-figure US income. And today he's one of the most, he's 27 years old. He's one of the most successful success stories around the world. And even 2.5 years ago, he got knighted as well. So as a family, my daughter did it slightly different. She wanted to go and get a university degree. She qualified. She was shortlisted to roll out a new card, national card, for a huge South African company, national company. And a year later, boss said, I want to keep you on permanent. And she said, thank you very much. Now I understand what my dad was telling me, that, you'll just be part of the system, you'll just be another number. I want the lifestyle of my brother. I want the lifestyle and freedom that my dad has. So she jumped on the business, and, a couple of years later, she's a success story. Husband, on the other hand, boyfriend at the time, they were dating. He's a chartered accountant, very close-minded, because he comes from a family of academics. So all they had blinkers on. They don't see direct sales as the way out. And he started paying attention when he started attending the trainings. He started doing the taxes for my son. And then he realized, wait, hold on. My bosses at the third largest, auditing firm in the world, they don't earn anywhere close to what Sachin earns, my son. And that's when he realized, I need to look at this seriously. And today, about a year and a half ago, he resigned from his job. He still practices as an auditor, but more on a consulting basis. But 70% of his time is spent building his direct sales business. So as a family, we've been a huge success. And I think we've shown Africa that it is possible. We've shown people that, this can give people hope again. And I think we just basically, as a family, international icons that everybody recognizes.
This is so phenomenal. Strong family bond, and your kids have definitely made you proud. And that's every parent's dream, to be committed and promoting each other's happiness and welfare, embracing family values, which, is the right value to make any business a success.
100%.
Business model of direct sales, social sharing, how has it impacted the lives from all around the world?
So, like I said earlier on, most people don't have the opportunity to get into conventional business purely because of the cost of getting into a business, right? And also, on the other hand, people are not really and truly taught to become entrepreneurs. If you really look at it, the A-grade students work for the C and D students because they have the business mindset. They are street savvy. They've just been smart enough to find people who have the knowledge and the qualifications, and they employ them in that sense. So when it comes to direct sales, firstly, do not ask for a CV. We do not prejudge you. We don't look at your qualifications. We give everybody an opportunity to change their lives. And it all boils down to the drive of that individual. It boils down to the determination. How badly do you want this? Are you going to settle for an average life, or do you feel that your family deserves so much more? So this business model allows you to build a business both locally and internationally. So initially, if I'm going to use me as an example, I started building in the greater Durban area. And then my team grew out of Durban into Johannesburg and Cape Town. And then eventually I created leaders around the country. And slowly people started to talk to their friends and family out in Europe and in the USA and in Australia, in Canada and so on, in Asia. And that's how we started to build teams, and we just started to create leaders. And we would, just fly into a different city or a different country and just add more fuel to their business, just give it a bit more momentum and help them and develop them. So the beautiful part about, today with technology, you can use webinars, you can use Skype, you can use Zoom. You can literally build your home from the comfort, your business from the comfort of your home. You don't really have to go out there like a physical business, carrying stock with you and building a conventional business. So here, everything is click and order. And, I can get somebody on a call. We can get multiple amount of people on the call. and we can share the opportunity and help them to build their businesses. And then we could also do trainings. So the business model is just an absolutely amazing business model. The company has a good training system. They teach you the skills. You have good developed leaders who will help you to win bigger. So as a business model, I recognize it as one of the best business models. I mean, I read something recently where Richard Branson said if he had to do it all over again, he would get involved in a direct sales company because he knows the power of network marketing.
Yeah, I've seen how passionate you are about positive living, and it has definitely impacted so many people. As well as a social sharing, which you use as a platform, is a powerful revolution as it amplifies the impact of the message. It can be very influential, and you are without a doubt radiating positivity into another level. I need to add this, your positivity is contagious, eh? You motivate everyone around you with your words and your actions and your ethics. Let's talk about your contribution as a family towards the underprivileged kids.
Okay, so initially when I was in conventional business, I started in a very small way, started making a contribution to a trust out in the trust was called Gazani. It was in the Amuiti area in the Greater Durban. It was 45 makeshift creches with an average of about 25 to 35 children. So when I say makeshift creches, these were children that come from very underprivileged, comes from a very underprivileged community. Most of these kids either are AIDS orphans, and their families, when I talk about their mums and their dads, they're either gardeners or they helpers. So they earn a very menial salary. You can't afford to put their kids in creches, so they put them into these makeshift creches. These kind of foster mothers get paid a very mere salary of like 500 Rand a month, okay, just to look after these kids. And these kids could be as young as a couple of months old to about 4 to 5 or 6 years old. And so I just saw, when somebody approached me, is it possible that you could make a contribution, like providing stationery or any form of items for toys and things like that for these kids to play with. So I looked at it and I just thought, it was an absolutely amazing opportunity to partner with this trust. I liked what they stood for, and I started in a way where I started, delivering around the area. It was just textbooks, it was rulers, it was pencils, it was pens, it was crayons. And then from there, it was hula hoops, it was soccer balls and tennis balls and so on. So I just didn't want to, buy this stuff and hand it over. I wanted to be part of the project where I wanted to go personally and, meet these kids, hand it over to them and so on. And then every quarter we would have a family fun day where we would invite these kids and we would throw a family fun day with entertainment. I would invite business personalities to come along so they could inspire these kids as well. And put together some entertainment from a sporting part to fun activities, and then provide meals for them like breakfast and lunch and desserts and things like that, and just have fun with these kids, just get to interact with them, and also get friends, kids to come along and just be part of this project. I think if you instill this with your kids at a very early age, then they start to learn to make a living giving as well. So my son has taken it to a totally different level. He's created a foundation called the Millionaire Student Foundation, the TMS Foundation. And, here he was literally feeding 1,000 kids per month. And we've now taken that to a totally different levels where we feed tens of thousands of kids. We get to contribute to some of their stationery. We get to contribute to their well-being, clothes and things like that. So it's been an absolutely amazing journey, just giving back. And I'm so proud that, both my kids have done it in a big way. And one of the recognitions for being knighted was his philanthropy. So that was one of the reasons why he was knighted, purely because of his international philanthropy that he's done around the world. And then also we got involved in a very big way with something in Guatemala, which is called the bottle school. So Guatemala's got a huge pollution problem and they've got an earthquake problem. So what we do is we get the kids in the community to stuff plastic 2-liter bottles with all their rubbish. And we use those bottles as insulation in school walls. So even Oprah featured us some years ago in the Oprah magazine. And if for some reason those walls collapse, it doesn't kill the kids or injure them purely because it's stuffed plastic bottles. So that was one way of getting rid of the rubbish. And the second way was getting the community now to clean up their community and build these schools. So an average school would cost us like about $25,000 US. So that was a huge project for us, and we absolutely loved it.
You know, it's so incredible, Preggie, because you and your family are stepping out and making such a huge difference, impacting the lives, empowering the kids, you know, so that they can envision a positive future and a brighter tomorrow. And children living in poverty are at greater risk of, you know, behavioral and emotional problems. And living in poverty, it means that you're limited to access, health, food, care, and many more. And this negatively affects the physical and social emotional development. So really, really big ups to you and your family. So in closing, your message to our audience.
Well, you know, firstly, I would like to ask the audience, you know, if they had one wish, what would that wish be? Because, you know, I always say people are born for greatness, but society programs us to become average. Most people in life give up on their dreams. You know, as kids, we had this big circle of dreams. You know, the kind of homes we wanted to live in, the kind of cars we wanted to drive, the kind of holidays we wanted to take. And, you know, when I ask people that question at some of my meetings and they go like, you know, I want a palatial home. I want, I want a home with 3-4 bedrooms. I want a home with a beautiful garden, you know. And what kind of holidays do you want to take? I want to be in Bora Bora. I want to be somewhere around some amazing destination. And what kind of car do you want to drive? It's always those sports cars of, you know, being the Porsches and the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and Rolls Royce and so on. And it's amazing how when children are growing up, they do not push like a TT, a Toyota Tazz. They're always pushing the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and those kind of toys, because in their mind, they believe that it's possible because they see it in magazines, they see it in movies, they see it on the street where people drive nice cars. So they believe that it is possible. But like I said, what happens is that society programs us to believe that, you know, those things are only destined for rich people. And when we go into the real world, we find the small little circle called income. Now we try to dilute that big circle of dreams into the small circle of income, and we realize, hey, wait, hold on, it's not going to work out. And so what we do is we start to make our dreams smaller. We start to settle for, you know, average. We're happy with a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. We're happy with the average car that we're driving. We're happy with the average salary. So all I say to people is that, you know, anything is possible if you're prepared to chase your dreams. Start dreaming again. And there are people out there, like typically in the direct sales industry, there are leaders out there that are happy to teach people. You know, you don't have to have the necessary skills. Just to become coachable. You know, learn before you earn. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Become a master copycat. Find somebody who has what you have, that you want, and they'll help you to get it. You just need to make that commitment and sacrifice, and don't throw in the towel. You know, pay attention, get excited, and never quit. Most people quit at the wrong time. So that's my message to the audience.
This message is above and beyond. Thank you for being such a great inspiration to many and for all of your contributions to societies. We from Global TV would like to thank you, Preggie, for joining me today. It was truly amazing having you here with me.
Geraldine, thank you very much for having me on. Thank you very much, Global TV. And yeah, I'd like to wish the audience everything of the best as well. And thank you, guys. Thank you for the great work that you're doing as well. I wish you a great journey.
Thank you so much. And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. Till next time with our VIP celebrity guests.